afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. This is a brand new week on Afternoon Express, and my name is Balisa Tembe. Now, we've got a very exhilarating show for you this Monday. We touch base with Miss SA, Shotofatu Musita, and find out more about her mental health initiative and the platform that she's springboarding on Mondays. We're also going to be meeting a dynamic duo, mother-daughter duo of the Johns. So, we also have more surprises for you, Mzansi. You know, if you're following on social media, we've been building up from the top of the show. Not only do we have a motivational mommy in Dumi, but we also have a co-host for today, motivational mommy, Nicole Austin. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Pali. Good to be here with you girls. Woman power.
Absolutely. Now, Nicole, what brings you to Afternoon Express today?
Well, other than you, I get to interview the one and only Dr. Emil Reed, and we're talking everything COVID, second wave, second strain, and just spending time together finding out about these challenges that we're facing.
Yeah, very important conversations. I love that, Nicole. And for yourself, Dumza?
My darling, today I got the juice for you because I will be cooking along with Siba. We'll be making delicious fish goujons that go along with a nice tartar sauce and these amazingly nice crispy fries. But to get all the recipe details, South Africa, you can still go to afternoonexpress.co.za. But for now, over to you, Bali.
Thank you so much, ladies. As I have been building up, it is a Motivational Mommy Monday today. So let's touch base with Heidi and Georgia Jones. Georgia Jones is a 13-year-old yodeling cowgirl enthusiast whose hearing was profoundly impaired as she was born with congenital rubella. Through the necessary funding and technological medical advances, she's been able to hear still as a toddler. She is here with her mom, Heidi, and they join us on the show to discuss their journey. Heidi and Georgia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Now, your story today just emulates everything that we love to celebrate on Afternoon Express, and that is resilience. Being able to stand up, be brave, and be triumphant. So, Heidi, as Mama Bear, I just want to touch base with you about Georgia's development, her early development, and of course, her being diagnosed with congenital rubella.
Yeah, look, it was a shock for us initially because any mom, dad wanting to welcome their baby girl into the world, and then later you find out that your baby's been tested with congenital rubella, and you're like, what is that? So your kid could either be born deaf, blind, or neurologically there could be issues. So at that stage you don't know only 6 months later. But we had such a good support from the hospital staff, from Coddle the Toy. They helped us along with our journey, exactly where we should start, where we should go to from A to B to Z. So we had all the support that we could get.
Now, for someone like me who's not familiar with any medical terms such as these, I mean, it seems like such a huge word. So how much more something to actually live every day? How did that look like for you in the Jones household? And how did you come to terms with understanding what your daughter had?
Look, when we got home, there was an initial between my hubby and I. He did his own testing on his side to test whether, could she hear, could she see? And I did testing my side, and I went through the denial phase of, I need to take her to get her checked from an audiologist. And at month 3 he said to me, Heidi, we need to get her checked because we didn't know which way to go. And from there everything was just lie down on the table. This is what we need to do, this is where we need to start. And as I say, from a support from the entire family and everyone at school, it was awesome.
Now, going from that very scary moment, finding out all about Georgia and her condition, you and your husband had to raise funds and get things going, essentially, to help her hear again, like the rest of us. How did you go about doing that? It seems like such an incredibly difficult task.
Look, it was initially because you don't know who to ask. You don't know where to start appealing. So, like once again, I say the Coddle the Toy family, they were amazing in supporting us. We reached out to schools, we reached out to our offices, we reached out to family and friends. We had pool parties, we had karaoke's. It was loads of fun. So, yeah, it was an awesome journey as well.
I love the fact that, and Georgia, I'm sure when you look up at mommy and daddy, you just look up with such awe and say, those are my parents. They took something that could have been almost devastating, but they turned it into a fun fundraising event, making sure that you are able to hear. Now, from your development, how have you found living with congenital rubella?
Well, I see myself as a normal child, like I hear pretty much the same as everyone else. Like I'm just as nice as everyone else. I'm a normal kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's...
I love the fact that you're just saying, I'm a normal kid, South Africa. You know, I don't see the hype in all of this. We are kicking off and springboarding Teen Suicide Prevention Week. Now, we're talking mental health and how it is, you know, being able to navigate that space as a young developmenting pre-adult, I suppose. Now, today is your first high school day, and now you're moving into this brand new world. How have you found it so far? And what are you thinking for yourself? Are you afraid of maybe bullies or being treated any type of way?
No, not really, because I surround myself with, like, nice people.
Yeah.
Like, who don't say mean things. They are basically the most kindest person you could ever meet in the whole entire world.
Yeah. I think that's so special. It's all about surrounding yourself with a good support system. Now, I've got a very touching moment that I just want to look over. The moment that Georgia was able to hear for the first time. I think that this is something that can translate and resonate with so many South Africans. So let's have a moment and let's have a look back.
Just keep on talking. Keep breathing. Say, shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake. Yes, that is a clever one. Is it? Yes, I can do that. Shake, shake.
Goosebumps. I mean, Georgia, I see you there playing with your toy and then you're recognizing the sound. You start reacting. I mean, Mom, for you seeing that within your daughter, how did that feel?
It was like wow, because she's always, well, before she could hear, very serious. You'd never get any expression from her. And that day to witness that she actually heard something, that was amazing.
Wow.
It really was.
And now, girlfriend, you are a yodeling cowgirl. First and foremost, I mean, this is such an interesting fascination. Where did it start and where do you want to see your career going?
So one day I was sitting on the couch just watching normal YouTube videos. I don't know what happened to the iPad. It just glitched. I'm like, what happened? And then this remix thing came up of the Walmart yodeling kid named Mason Ramsey. I'm like, wait, who the heck is Mason Ramsey? So I looked everywhere, and then I saw him on a YouTube channel called Inside Edition.
Okay.
So I found his name. I'm like, okay, where do I find this kid's name? So I
You're
typed his
obsessed with
name.
him.
I found his name, and I'm like, okay, let me hear his music. So I found his music. It's like, oh my gosh, this kid is amazing. And yeah, I see myself, I want to be on the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, wow. Now, Mom, that is something that's very foreign to us. I mean, growing up in South Africa, we're not really experiencing this on a daily basis. So, you know, towards the end of the show, I also want to get my yodel on. So, Georgia, you're going to be teaching me how to yodel. Hopefully, I can be as good as you and Mason. And of course, Mommy, we've got you throughout the show. Thank you so much for being so motivational
you.
on this Mommy Monday. We really appreciate it. And kudos to you, girl. Follow your dreams regardless. Now, Mzansi, on social media, we're just keeping this conversation going. So let us know your thoughts on all things Georgia Jones. Now, her story is one indeed of success and, of course, a miracle happening. So let's keep engaging with her. And again, on social media, it was Valentine's Day yesterday. And indeed, we loved to see everyone spreading the love and support. So I want to find out from you, did anyone surprise you in a special way? We'd love to hear from you using our social media hashtag Afternoon Express. But coming up, we touch base with Siba in the kitchen.
Express yourself.
Welcome back to your Monday edition of Afternoon Express. And of course, joining us in the loft, we've got Nicole Austin. Welcome, girl.
Hey, Polly. How do you mean? Good to be here at this very formal table.
I know, I love it like the queen that you are. But look, Nicole, I mean, I'm not blessed enough to be a mother yet, but I can only imagine, Dumi, how important it is to feed your kids nutritious meals and nutritious food.
Absolutely, and I think the pressure we face as moms is immense, right?
It is, but luckily with Sea Harvest and McCain, they've made it very simple for us because of the Friends in Your Freezer campaign. I got to cook with Siba and make a meal that is very simple and easy. Fish goujons and chips for her sons. I got to meet the two of them. They're so adorable. But anyway, let's quickly have a look at it, Balisa. It was nice, easy, simple. I had lots of fun though.
I am so excited because today I'm visiting Usiba Mtongana, who's going to be showing me how to make a simple, nutritious meal at home for her kids. Hi Siba!
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and how are you?
Hi guys! Thank you so much for having me.
So Dumi, you and I are going to cook lunch, and as for these young ones, they're going to be doing their homework, so bye! Oh, no! Yep. There are times where I get so busy with my life. I am a mother of 4. I do run a restaurant. I do run my own company. So time is a very scarce resource. So there are times where I don't have time to cook like a long, slow braised lamb. And I do have certain ingredients that I keep in my fridge and sometimes in my freezer that are just amazing. Healthy and nutritious because I'm cooking for children. That is key for me. Today, to me, I'm going to be making fish goujons, which is something I make for my kids for lunch when it is after school, especially while they're doing homework. And I want to take you through the recipe. I use some of my friends in the freezer, which are very convenient for me to have as a standby ingredient or ingredients. And my first ingredient is my hake, and then I've got some egg, which I've beaten, and I've got some Parmesan cheese, and then I've got a range of seasonings. The first one is chicken stock, and it's the powder. It gives such a lovely flavor. I also have some onion powder mixed with garlic powder, as well as some any dried herbs that you may have at home. And then I also need some salt and pepper for seasoning. Another key ingredient is your cornstarch or your corn flour, because it helps with the binding and it also helps with making it nice and crispy. Over here, I've got a mixture of breadcrumbs and a little bit of panko because I want them to be nice and crunchy even though they are big.
Siba, I mean, you've got 4 children and you've mentioned that they all have different palates. One has got a very well-versed palate. The others just like to keep it simple. Would you say that this is perhaps one of the dishes where everyone is happy?
I most certainly would say yes. Reason being is that it's fish, they all love it, and it's nice and crunchy. They love that too. They're into texture, and it's also great for us as as parents because it's tasty and it's healthy. The reason why it's very important for me to cook with my kids instead of cooking for them is that I get a buy-in, and in the process I get to tell them this is good for this is good for that, even if they don't eat a whole bunch of it, but at least they'll eat a little bit of it.
I mean, Siba, you're a businesswoman running businesses, restaurants, doing so much. So besides the convenience of this recipe, what else do you love about it?
I love the fact that it is it's fish and it's seafood. It's a healthy option for my kids. My children love seafood the most. They're a bit more nibblers. So when I cook for them, I don't make big meals. I make smaller chunks of meals because it's not too intimidating for them. And a top tip is that you must place it back in the egg and then back again here, because that really makes it nice and crunchy, especially if you're going to place it in the oven.
The other thing I absolutely love about it is we all know that fish and chips, it's always about the crust on that fish.
Cooking for me is the best way to bond with the family. I remember the times I've had with my parents, especially my mom, spending time with her in the kitchen and my dad in the garden. Those were the best memories, and that's what I want to bring for my family. Perfect. Now, to make this even more convenient, I'm going to place my chips, and they're oven baked, and the lovely thing about it is that you've got less dishes to wash afterwards. These go into the oven at 180 degrees for 20 minutes. Now halfway through the cooking process, which is 10 minutes, I'm going to flip them over so that they're crunchy on either end. Yummy. I often find that people get very intimidated with experimenting with new products or new ingredients, and often they will not even want to touch it and eat what they're used to. But my advice to them is that without experimenting, you don't learn. Once you try a little bit of something different from what you know, your palate grows. And for me, I didn't grow up eating, everything I eat now. It took me time in order for me to appreciate it at the level in which I do. You give me oysters now, I'll gobble them. Maybe 10 years ago, I would have said no. So it's good to experiment.
Oh wow, Siba, that looks absolutely amazing. I mean, the smells coming from that tray are absolutely amazing. I can't wait to try this.
And to pair with the fish and chips, I make a very simple sauce. It's got tomato sauce, some mayonnaise, and a little bit of sweet chili mixed together. Boom! I'm going to call the kids Lina and Lonwabo.
It's so fresh. The crust, that crumbing that you did is so nice and crispy. The seasoning is perfect. It's not over-salted. You can taste all the herbs that you put in there. The parmesan. Winner chicken dinner. Well, winner fish dinner in this case. This tastes amazing. Now what a lovely afternoon I had. I finally got to meet Siba and two of her amazing kids. We also made a tasty dish in 20 minutes. Now that's an awesome way to use the friends in your freezer.
McCain and Sea Harvest have brought fun and creativity back into our kitchen. Reimagine mealtime with hashtag Friends in Your Freezer and stand a chance to win one of 10 PlayStation 5 consoles when you buy any one Sea Harvest and one McCain product. Don't forget to keep your till slip. T's and C's apply. Okay, Dumi, I see you bringing your famous friends to Afternoon Express.
I needed to bring in the reinforcement, Palisa, because Mosiba keeps it going. She keeps giving us the juice, so I needed to make sure that I just touch base with her.
Speak about a consistent queen. I mean, Nicole, were you taking notes?
Well, I am not a cook, so that is my one greatest failing in life. So I was definitely taking notes, and that looks achievable.
Definitely.
And it also looks like I could probably eat lunch off that as well.
I promise you, it was such a convenient, such a simple meal that is perfect for the kids and parents.
High in omegas,
High in omegas,
balanced macros.
nutritional.
I love that. But Nicole, question is, as much as you would enjoy it, with the little ones, you've got two beautiful girl and boy duo, best friends, as you love to explain them as. Do you think they'd love that?
Oh, they love it. They love fish and chips, and they are my hurricanes. They absolutely destroy my house in the best way possible and bring so much amazing chaos.
Look at that chaotic mess in the background. How gorgeous. And I mean twins, triplets.
Oh, they are gorgeous. They are literally 4 years apart, but best friends.
Oh, I love
They're
that.
amazing. And they've both faced some immense health challenges in their lives.
Yeah.
So they are literally my greatest inspiration because of what they've overcome, because of how resilient they are.
Yeah.
And I find myself some days overwhelmed by things, and then I look at them and I'm like, okay, wow, wow.
Well, Nicole, I'm so glad that you did bring that up, because as much as we did meet Georgia and Heidi Jones in the beginning of the show, towards the end, I do want to touch base with you as to what words of encouragement you have for Mama Heidi and Georgia, and of course sharing your own personal experiences with that.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and walking the medical path with a medical background, but also the path as a mom, and just to see the two come together, it's been eye-opening to say the least. And we're in a country that has amazing medical support and teams of people that rally behind, and I think that's exactly what's happened with Heidi and Georgia.
Absolutely. So much to look forward to, Mzansi. But coming up, we chat to Miss Ese Shotufatu Musita about her mental health initiative.
Express yourself.
Last week, Monday, Miss SA Shutufatsu Musita launched her very own mental health initiative, #Mindful Mondays. She joins us now via Zoom to discuss this week's topic, which focuses on Teen Suicide Prevention Week. Miss SA, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's always such a pleasure to touch base with you, girl. I mean, how excited are you to finally be able to be en route to tackling mental health, which of course we all know you were so outspoken about whilst you were up in the running for Miss SA?
I'm really, really excited to start Mindful Mondays. I think it's long overdue. We had a lot of meetings about it, trying to prepare in partnership with SADC, and it's beautiful that it's finally out and people can get to be educated about it, learn more about it, and have a safe space for them to talk about their feelings, to talk about mental health, and invest in their mental health as well. So it's quite an exciting time.
Absolutely. Very exciting. I mean, finally, we are here. Mama, I made it. This initiative and program, which is now a Instagram platform, is hosted in conjunction, as you've mentioned, with the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. So can you just tell us a little bit more about the work that you and SADC are doing together on the platform?
So Mindful Mondays is an initiative in partnership with SADC, and they help bring in experts to speak on mental health, because they've got the right resources, the right stats that are going to be very insightful and very informative for many people that didn't know about mental health previously. So we invite different experts every single week and different perspectives from different communities to come and speak about mental health, to educate and essentially inform how we as a society view mental health and destigmatize it. So we've been working together closely to make sure that we do this.
But everything that you're doing is very sensitive. I mean, it's very sensitive topics that we are tackling, which brings us to tonight's topic. Of course, it is Teen Suicide Prevention Week. So what can our viewers expect on tonight's program?
So it's Teen Suicide Prevention Week, and we're going to be talking to Dr. Cindy van Zyl. It's quite important for us to tackle this issue, especially with schools opening. Yeah. A lot has changed previously to how we used to go to school. With COVID-19 and the new regulations, it's difficult for learners. It's difficult for teens in general to adapt to this new normal. So it's quite important for us to engage in this conversation where we let them know that you're not alone. You have us. You have SADC. There's so many. They have a helpline that you can call if you need help, and it's 24 hours. So it's quite important for us to engage in the conversation, just to let them know that they're not alone, and provide them with the right resources to get the necessary help that they need.
Now, seeing that you are focusing on bullying, I mean, you yourself were a victim of some social media backlash just a few weeks ago. Would you like to take this opportunity just to share your point of view and what happened?
It's not something that I really engage in, because I do not take anything personally from the get-go. People are going to have things to say, but what they say is not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of them. I learned that quite early, and when something like that, or the backlash or whatever else happens on social media, I sort of just switch off or just remove myself from negativity, because there's so many positives that we need to focus on. And as someone that's been bullied in the past, I know how it feels like to dwell on negativity, and that's not who I am anymore, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, we're grateful for you. We're grateful for the Queen, that you are always rising above and showing us the positivity of it all. So as we keep the positive winning energy, I mean, your three predecessors, Demi Lee, Utamron Green and Uzosmin Tunzi, have all contested Miss Universe instead of Miss World. So you'll be the very first Miss SA winner since 2016 to contest Miss World. So have you started with preparations? How's it going so far for the pageant? And are there any latest updates?
Right now, because of COVID, we don't even know when the date of Miss World is going to be, but it's probably going to be towards the end of the year, around October and November. Prep is just basically doing the work as Miss South Africa. So my main focus is being Miss South Africa, and just being Miss South Africa is enough prep to Miss World. Starting my mental health campaign is one big element of my advocacy and my Beauty with a Purpose project. So that's part of the preparation, and it's such a beautiful time for me, because I will be the first one, like you said, to go to Miss World in a very long time, and to represent our country. But with Miss World, it's Beauty with a Purpose, so it's going to show the substance of South African women, and I'm just happy to be a representative and ambassador of this country going to Miss World.
I mean, fundamentally, there is just so much wealth of knowledge and gems of wisdom that you've got, girls. So I'm going to give you this opportunity right now just to touch base with some of the teens you're going to be speaking to today. In closing, girl, I must ask you, what's one of your last messages that you want to leave for a teenager right now who's going through something and who doesn't know how to process their thoughts or their emotions?
I'd like to let you know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
I know that it feels like you're alone sometimes, and what you're feeling is a feeling that only you feel. But there's been so many other people, and I feel like if they just knew that they weren't alone too, you'd realize that you're definitely not alone. There's so many resources for you to get help. There's so many people that care about you, including myself. So don't ever feel like you're alone, and tune into Mindful Mondays to realize that we are a community and we'll heal together.
Here's to healing together. I most certainly will be tuning in tonight, because as much as you are tackling teen prevention, suicide prevention week, I do believe that what you have to say can definitely transcend any age group. Thank you so much, Dr. Fatsone. Goodbye, Siswam.
No, thank you so much for having me again. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, girl. Now, we're so immensely proud of National Ambassador and Queen Shotofatu Musita, and we wish her all the very best as she continues with her mental health initiative, #Mindful Mondays, and her preparation for Miss World.
You know, this conversation comes just in time, like we were mentioning about it being Teen Suicide Prevention Week. It comes perfectly in time, you know, with people having to shine a light on that. It's such a sensitive topic, but at least seeing that someone like Shudufats is doing something so amazing. Palesa, I'm glad you actually were able to shine a light on that, because it is something that most people don't actually talk about.
Absolutely. Very, very crucial. I mean, Nicole, how do you feel about it? I know it touches you quite sensitively.
It really does, especially as a mother, to have gone through the diagnosis for your children with diseases. I saw Heidi mentioning it earlier. She was in those stages of grief and denial, and often those can tangle people up so immensely. And I was reading a statistic earlier that SADC has actually had, they went from 600 phone calls pre-lockdown per day to 1,600 phone calls a day. And that is people reaching out for support and help and guidance. And at least we're destigmatizing it through conversations like this.
Very important. And I'm so glad that you did bring the numbers alive, because at the end of the day, when we speak about this, numbers don't lie. So seek the help that you need, and shout out to you, Shudufats, definitely going to be tuning in tonight. Now, ladies, yesterday was Valentine's Day, so let's keep in the love and the positivity. We've been asking South Africans, you know, what did they get surprised with yesterday? And we've got some interesting comments. We've got Amo here, who used the #Afternoon Express by saying, wow, I did not expect that. My little brother Toriso gave me a wristwatch. He said, happy Valley, sissy. Ha ha ha. Funny, but yet so sweet. How cute.
That's adorable. Both my kids made their Valentine their teacher. So it shows you how much they love and appreciate their teachers, I think, having been out of the classroom for so long.
Absolutely, I love that. Well, let's keep the conversation going. And as we stick to social media, last week, Dumi and I battled it out in a #M challenge. And now it's time to read what you viewers had to say. So we're looking forward to that, all of that coming up.
Express yourself.
Stand a chance to win Mula, mobile phones, and many more M prizes with Super M. Pick your M prize on your favorite Super M pack. Dial *120 *7837# and follow the prompts. The M you pick is the M you could win. All you need is M. Super M Gap Filler. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now it is Super Monday Mania, and you know what that means. It's time for a gap filler moment with your favorite Super M. Last week we started the hashtag M Challenge, whereby Tumi and I went up against each other, and it was all about the M. Now I think the winner was Team Pali. I'm so sorry, Tumza.
I feel like Mina, I was robbed. But the numbers don't lie, Palisa. The numbers don't lie.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's exactly what we did. We shot it out to social media, and absolutely, you guys definitely answered with all of your hashtag M Challenge sentences that had to make sense, of course. And here is what a few of you had to say. Now, I'm loving these comments, Dumi. People were really, really creative.
They were. You know, people went out of the way to make sure they made those M sentences. I failed, but Elise didn't, Palisa.
Absolutely. No. Elise Johnson commented with her hashtag M Challenge, in which she said, money makes moms mad. Now, there's a certain truth to that M Challenge, Elsa. Good one. Love it.
I actually agree with her. And then we also have Makwena, and Makwena said, my majestic mother makes marvelous milkshakes memorable. I mean, if they're marvelous milkshakes, they definitely will be memorable, right?
I mean, I agree, but that awfully sounds similar to what we said last week.
Very true.
So I don't know if he stole someone's idea, but what I loved was top fan Urabile, who commented by saying, my marks made my mom mad. I tried. Now listen, girl, let's get it together. We need everyone's report cards to be A's all the way, because mommy definitely will keep being mad if those marks are bad.
I fully agree with you, Palisa. We want the numbers here. We want the numbers to be up here. So make mommy happy with those numbers, guys.
Absolutely. Let's study and pass. We also have one of our great fans here, Nick Lombard, came through even with an M names by saying, Molly Madison made money making marvelous. Macadamian macaroons, mostly Mondays. Does that make sense? I mean, nice one, Nick. You definitely gave us all of those Molly Madison making money is marvelous, but I mean, I don't know if that really made sense.
Well, Palisa, we actually have another viewer who basically, I think, was the winner of our M Challenge, because it's got to be about the most M words, right?
Yep.
So Ufuzi Prince said, Palisa, actually, maybe Palisa, you should read it, because you know me, I struggled with my words.
Okay, so he first of all said, Palisa will win because Tumi is always winning in the kitchen. Have to agree, but his original M sentence says, my mom made me my macaroni medium. Making my macaroni medium made my mouth melting more. My mom mastered my macaroni. I mean... The commitment to the M, Mzansi, I'm loving it. But what's so exciting about this is that you get an opportunity to win South Africa just by engaging on social media. So much so that I'm excited to announce that we are trending on Twitter and on our social media platforms due to this challenge. I'm very excited about it. So keep those entries going, because who knows, we could be reading out one of your M challenges on the show.
Yeah, so get us to #1 South Africa. We want to be the #1 trending topic and essay. So please send in all your entries. Send in your entries so you can be the #1 in our M Challenge. Super M Challenge, because hashtag Super M is all you need.
I know, I love it, I'm all about it. Now, Mzansi, next week's winner stands a chance to win a really cool Super M hamper. Plus, you could win awesome M prizes by purchasing any Super M promo pack in store. Dial *120 *7837# and follow the prompts. So go on and get entering. Who knows, you could be a lucky winner. Stand a chance to win Mula, mobile phones, and many more M prizes with Super M. Pick your M prize on your favorite Super M pack. Dial *120 *7837# and follow the prompts. The M you pick is the M you could win. All you need is M. Super M Gap Filler. Now, South Africa, we still have more opportunities for you to win. We are going to be giving away 5,000 Rand once a week for 5 weeks. And all you have to do is keep watching Afternoon Express, because we're going to give you all of those competition details with Imuenza. Now, at a time like this, I can only imagine how far 5,000 Rand can go. So please, Mzansi, get entering. Use that hashtag Imuenza and use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. Twitter, Facebook, who knows, you could be winning. And talking about winning, we're going to be touching base with Georgia Jones, 13-year-old yodeling cowgirl enthusiast, coming up.
Express yourself.
It's been almost a year since the outbreak of COVID-19 in South Africa. Facing the pandemic, we've had to adapt, protect, and adjust the way we live and work. Now, almost a year later, we South Africa have been hit with a second wave, along with a new variant of the virus. What does this mean, and how can we make sure that we're doing the best to protect our families? We chat to infectious disease specialist Dr. Emil Reed on what we need to know about the second wave. We also have Nicole Austin joining me again in the loft as the health correspondent. Welcome back to the loft, Nicole.
Thanks, Palesa. Great to be here and talking about something so topical. We need to adapt. We need to learn a lot of new things about this virus, and we need to keep one another safe.
And as a pharmacist, that's exactly the kind of perspective I want coming from you throughout this conversation. And for you, Dr. Emil, welcome back to the show. Now, what catapulted the second wave in South Africa?
The first thing that caused these big problems is because we underestimated this virus. People thought that COVID-19, after the first wave, was a thing of the past. They became relaxed. And also people thought that SARS-CoV-2 cannot survive in the hot weather. Also at that point, all of us became tired of wearing masks, so-called COVID-19 fatigue, and therefore not adhering to mitigation strategies and guidelines. Also, the time coincided with summer, end of the year, festive holidays, when mass movement and travels occurred interprovincially and also internationally. Mass gatherings over the same period served as super spreader events, igniting a massive second surge in cases of COVID-19, hospitalizations, and unfortunately deaths.
Doc, we want to know specifically, the fear around this disease is immense, and now suddenly there's this second wave. How is the second wave different to the original outbreak?
Well, first of all, Nicole, the second wave came much sooner than initially anticipated and expected. Also, it affected more young adults, and the numbers just spiraled out of control. Although healthcare professionals were more experienced in management and of this disease and taking care of patients, we were also better prepared. But unfortunately, the volumes of cases overwhelmed our hospital systems. We had shortages of beds, which led to increased mortality and also increased morbidity. At the same time, healthcare providers were ill, they were burnt out, and they couldn't carry on because they've been at it for the last year. Beds and quality of care was probably our biggest commodity.
And what we did see with the second wave also attracted a second strain of the virus, which came out of South Africa. Now, can you both just help me understand the second strain and what should people be aware about it?
The first thing one needs to remember that there's a big difference between a strain and a variant or mutation. And if it was a different strain, I think we would have gone back to the start of COVID-19 a year ago, and would things have been completely and utterly even more chaotic. So what we're dealing with is what we call a variant. And important to remember that viruses are extremely error-prone. So with every division or replication cycle, viruses develop mutations, and that happens all the time. But certain mutations or certain variants are more significant than others. The so-called 501YV2 is one of those type of variants. And what we found that with this new variant, we had massively increased virus loads in patients contracting the disease, which also led to rapid transmissibility, an increase in transmissibility of this disease. Hence the reason for the numbers to spiral out of control. Also, the influence on disease severity, morbidity, and whether it actually increases mortality. We are not quite sure at this point in time, and need to look at the data that we have accumulated in the last few months. Nothing that we didn't do with the first one will actually make a difference, because we need to go back to what we know best, and that is the mitigation strategies to mask up, physical distance, and sanitize.
Okay. Well, I think that's exactly it, is on the front line, especially in pharmacies, this second strain or variant has actually created a lot more awareness, and people have realized that this is a serious disease to contend with and to lose that apathy that was developing. Yeah. Doc, so now that we see that the second wave is starting to stabilize, where to from here?
Nicole, that is a fantastic question. I think the one thing we need to understand is that the only way that we can get out of this predicament that we're in is through the development of herd immunity, or so-called population immunity, which can only be achieved through wide-scale vaccination programs. So we need round about 85% of people to have antibodies or to be vaccinated against this particular virus before we will develop herd immunity. Meaning, in South Africa, we probably need 45 million people to be vaccinated in the next few months, meaning 90 million dosages of vaccine. Without a vaccine and without getting to herd immunity, COVID is going to be around for a long time.
Thank you, Doc.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Goodbye, Doc.
Thank you, Pelisa. Keep well.
Goodbye. We're going to have Dr. Emil Reed back in the loft, Nicole, as we speak about his personal experience with COVID-19 and how he survived, which brings me to the competition that we're setting up with Immuenza, wanting to find out from South Africans their survival stories.
Yes, exactly. And I think there's so many of you brave South Africans out there who have gone through the most, not just with COVID, and we want to hear your stories.
Absolutely. So, Mzansi, you heard it from Nicole. Do you have a survival story? Then we want to hear from you. Share your survival story with us, from surviving a failed parachute to a lion attack. We want to hear your story, Mzansi. Immuenza is giving away 5,000 Rand a week for 5 weeks. All you have to do is reply to the Immuenza competition post on the Afternoon Express Facebook page or Twitter page and tell us your survival story and what protected you using the hashtag Immuenza. Competition closes on the 17th of February 2021 at midnight, and terms and conditions can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. So get entering. Support your immune system for your next big adventure with Immuenza. Welcome back, Mzansi. Now look, from winning to yodeling, Georgia, you promised to teach me how to yodel. Now, I'm not familiar with yodeling, so take it slow. Where's the first thing we need to start off with when we need to yodel?
Well, you gotta go up, then you gotta go down. It's like high note, mid note, it's kind of like that.
You have to, demo it for me so I can practice and then let's see.
It's kind of like this.
Wow. Okay, let me try it. Mzansi, do not judge me, okay? Hopefully I don't trend for all the wrong reasons. Yodelay, yodelay.
So close, so close.
Let me leave it to the professional, Mzansi. This is Georgia Jones, 13-year-old yodeling cowgirl enthusiast. Take it away, girl.
I got a feeling called the blues. Oh Lord, since my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what I do. All I do is sit and sigh. Oh Lord, that last lonely she said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. She'll do me, she'll do you. She's got the kind of love. Not to let me hear when she comes to speak. Daddy's such a beautiful dream. I hate to think it all over. I've lost my heart, it seems. I've grown so used to you somehow, but I'm nobody's sugar daddy now, and I'm lonesome. I've got the lovesick blues. Well, I'm in love with the beautiful gal. That's what's the matter with me. I'm in love with the beautiful gal, but she don't care about me. Lord, I tried to keep her satisfied, but she just wouldn't stay. So now that she is leaving, thank you.
Come on over, Georgia. Come take a seat. I love that. Yulili, indeed. All of the ululating here in the loft. Go have a seat there by your mommy dearest. Now, Mzansi, let's all bring this home. And remember, Georgia was diagnosed with congenital rubella at a very, very young age, which impaired her hearing. So having her perform on our stage right now is truly something to celebrate and truly something to remark. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, Mama, how does it feel to see your daughter perform on national television with such pride?
Very proud of her, extremely proud.
I love that. I mean, Nicole, let's touch base with you.
I had goosebumps watching you, and I think we all got to see that footage of you when you were a toddler listening for the very first time. And I've got a son who actually has hearing difficulties, and he's deaf in his right ear. And to watch your journey is so inspiring because, Mama, I know how that feels, you know, to go through that entire process of realizing your child's hopes and dreams are different.
Yeah.
But to discover, right, that they can be incredible.
Yeah, definitely. And also what helps a lot, there's no speech impairment at all. We managed to catch it at a very early age. We were fortunate enough to. So that's also a big plus for her.
Yeah. And I hear you have big hopes and dreams of going to Nashville one day.
Yes.
So I'm a big country music fan.
Yeah.
Secrets out the bag. I was enjoying that way more than I think anybody
Than the most. No, we were getting our yodel dance on. I mean, Mama, as much as we are having such a good time here on Afternoon Express, there are other mothers right now watching you who can relate to Nicole, can relate to yourself and your journey. What words of encouragement, motivation this Monday do you have for those mothers?
Look, just support as much as you can. Encourage your child to surround themselves with children that have share the same talent as them. Always praise their efforts more than their ability, so that they incline to also want to learn more. And by them making mistakes as they go along and taking risks, they so learn more in that way.
No, absolutely. Look, Goosebumps Central here, Dumi. She is smiling from ear to ear. Do you feel motivated?
I do. And I mean, we're talking about motivational Mondays. I'm sitting here with two very motivational mothers right now, and that inspires me as well to say whatever I might go through, it's just a journey. And as long as you've got support, like you've said, you know, whether it's a support, whether it's a forum or support system in terms of family or friends, it's always good to have that, because at least it actually sort of takes the load off a little bit with having someone that you can speak to and, you know, get help from.
Absolutely. And you know, it is Teen Suicide Prevention Week, so we are shining a light on some of those that are feeling a little dim during this time. So shout out to you. I mean, Nicole, we were speaking earlier about the fact that as a mother right now, this is something that you're paying really close attention to, the mental health of your kids.
Absolutely. And there's so much pressure on kids, and I'm sure you've felt it yourself. And as mothers, we certainly feel it for the kids, because, you know, not only do they have this entire pandemic to contend with and missed schooling, but the pressure around them from their peers and the pressure to perform, it's a lot. So to be able to watch somebody really revel in their talent, even though it is such a unique talent, it's not a locally South African thing. You don't see this every day.
Yeah.
But it's really incredible to see you loving what you do and just going out there unapologetically and doing it. Can we expect to see you at the Grand Ole Opry?
I wish I could be there, because like it would be a big dream to be in there. Like, it's like this huge place on this wooden circle with like thousands of people. Like,
I can even see Georgia's taking herself there while Mzansi here is to following your dreams.
Yes.
Thank you, Nicole, for joining us, and thank you to the Joneses. Say, catch you tomorrow, Mzansi, same time, same place. Goodbye.
Every love story is beautiful. Celebrate the month of love with your family favorites. Made with Love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.